Hi, I'm Tony Puliafico. I'm a clinical psychologist at Columbia University and the New York State Psychiatric Institute, and I work primarily in the Pediatric Anxiety and Mood Research Clinic here. We're really focused on identifying and developing treatments for kids with anxiety and mood disorders. What that often involves is looking at new interventions, both therapies and medicines, that can help these kids. Let's take the work that we do in OCD. Let's say every time you turned off a light, you had to do it twice. You started to get concerned that twice wasn't enough, so then it became 5 times. A lot of times we see compulsive behaviors in our everyday lives. A lot of times we don't even notice it. Checking your bag multiple times to make sure you have everything, or checking your room before you leave. Washing your hands if you touch something that you think might have been a little dirty. So you're washing your hands just to be safe. The Pediatric Anxiety and Mood Research Clinic is actually housed in a day patient unit known as the Children's Day Unit. This is also a unique treatment setting in that it partners with the New York Board of Education so that teenagers are able to attend the Children's Day Unit as their school setting. I'm thinking of a teenager right now who couldn't get out of the house because she was engaged in touching and tapping routines. And that was her fear, that if I didn't touch and tap these things in my house in this very specific routine, then something bad was going to happen in the world. She began attending the CDU as school while also providing therapy right there in the school setting. And when we're talking about exposure and response prevention, we're talking about a very specific type of treatment intended to target symptoms of OCD. An individual recently came in to work with me to target concerns about, am I being immoral and am I going to suffer consequences from God or a religious figure because of that? What we did was come up with a whole list of situations that this kid tried to avoid because of these fears. An example of this would be walking by someone where we think we might have tripped them or brushed into them and not saying I'm sorry. Because, oh my goodness, if I didn't say I'm sorry, I might have been a bad person. So he and I walked through the halls and we were brushing by everyone we could see, but we didn't say sorry once, and that brought up his anxiety. That was a true exposure there. We stayed in that exposure until he started to calm down with it. And all throughout that, we were resisting that ritual, resisting that compulsion of saying I'm sorry or thinking like, I didn't really mean to do that. All these things that this kid has typically done that reinforced his OCD. We do have treatments that can help, and it's great to be able to provide treatments that we know can be effective to kids and to families. And I'm lucky to work with a staff that's really well-versed and experts in this assessment and treatment so that we often can be successful in terms of providing symptom relief and real help to kids and families struggling with OCD.